truly the last attempt. 5, 4. Hello everyone and welcome back to Dwellers in the Dark. I'm Dave and today we're going to be looking at another Nova army list. And this time it's a question by the Big Goblin 86 and he asks, competitive Gondor? Interesting question. Ironic the fact that I've just come back from the Scouring of Cheshire, which was Steve Crow's great little event, and I took 750 points of Gondor. Now, I did quite well there in respects. I thought I'd actually get quite a lot of batterings. I played 7 games. I believe I won, was it 4, drew 1, lost 2. And I only lost to Damien O'Byrne and Mr. Tom Harrison, Mr. Charming Tom Harrison. The games were convincing wins, don't get me wrong, but there were moments where it was quite close. And I thought, Gondor, interesting. Now I learned a few things about my Gondor list. Now my Gondor list had Boromir fully kitted out on horse, leading some knights. It had Faramir on foot, it had Damrod and it had Beregond. Nice cheap heroes, the latter two, and it allowed me to bring a lot of troops. Quite good. But for this 800 point list, it's going to be guaranteed there's going to be a lot of magic, and that's what affected my 750 point list. Boromir was transfixed, he was compelled, he was commanded, he was immobilized, he was whatever. He was just shut out of the game. In fact, for 3 games, he never even got into combat. And for the remaining 3-4 games, I think he only killed maybe 6 or 7 other models throughout the whole event. Quite disappointing for a lot of points. Did he get to use some of his might? Yes. Did he die? I don't actually think he died in any game. I just think that he didn't bring too much to the table, which was a shame. Okay, so what can we do with our Gondor list? Well, we could throw in a magic user. We could throw in Saruman. We could throw in Gandalf. So you're putting magic against magic to tie up magic and do little bits and pieces, and yeah, it's quite interesting. But how about this for an alternative? How about no magic in your Gondor list? How about dropping Boromir? Now I'm going to put the list up here for you guys, and this is the list I came up with, 800 points, and we'll go down through it and see what you think. Personally, I think that at Nova, this list could do extremely well when you're considering that your opponent is going to maybe have a 1, maximum 2 magic users, so he's only going to be able to transfix or immobilize or compel command 1 or 2 of your models a turn. Now if he wants to do that to lower heroes, that's great. So we're going to put our points into a hell of a lot more troops. So take a look at this list and let's see what you think. Okay, to start off with, I have Faramir fully kitted out on horse with lance. I'm giving him 7 Knights of Minas Tirith. Again, really good troops, and I'll talk to you later on about the tactics of that. And I've also given a knight with a banner. So we've got our banner bearer in there. Quite mobile, well, fantastically mobile, hard hitting, can do the job. Very weak when it comes to their defense. The defense basically, you take the horse out from underneath them and you've got Warriors of Minas Tirith. Not bad, still defense 6, so I suppose, yeah, you're thinking defense 6 is great. But they're going to be focused upon. Your enemy is going to start considering, don't want to be hit by cavalry on the flank, don't want to be hit by cavalry on the rear. So, they will be a focal point. And you can use that to your advantage. Get your enemy to start moving his troops around in deployment and after deployment to try and counter your cavalry. And then swap your cavalry around. Remember, they're very mobile. Go from one flank to the other if necessary. What I tend to do, and this is a tactic I used, I tend to put my cavalry in with my troops, so I split them all up. So we'll have Veteranos Gilead, we'll have Warrior in Minas Tirith, we might even have some backup there with some Rangers and some Spears, and then in amongst that you'll have a cavalry model. So if you're lucky enough to get the charge off, you're actually doing little holes in their line and you're spreading their line out, because one of the things you're going to have with this army is a lot of troops. a lot of troops to be able to hold bottlenecks, a lot of troops to be able to flank your enemy on a lot of occasions, which could be very, very good. And remember, you still have that defense. Okay, so the next thing is I threw in 2 warriors of minus third. That's generally for protecting the cav, depending on your deployment and what happens within deployment. But, you know, it's a couple of slots, got the old guys in, builds up the warband a little bit to what, it's now 10 in the warband, excluding Faramir. But, you know, so that's the 11 model warband, that's not bad. That can hold its own for a while. Okay, so to back that up, we've got Damrod with the Rangers of Gondor. Now I've given them 11 Rangers here, but most importantly I've given them spears, because I don't hold a lot of merit in archery. I've seen archery doing lucky shots and some devastating bits and pieces every now and then, but again, depending on the scenery at Nova and depending on circumstances, scenario, I find that leaving archers behind so they can get the best shots isn't always the best tactic. So something that Josh Triffett mentioned to me, put spears on him, get him in behind. If you get the lucky shot off, get the lucky shot off. That's fine. But at fight 4 for these guys, they're backing up my warriors of minus third in my other units, and you know, we've got some two attack scenarios going on there. That'll even take out berserkers quite happily. Well, when I say by quite happily, you know, they'll challenge berserkers, and it's 2 dice on 2 dice, so that's good. It's good. Then I went for Beragorn, and I went for 4 guard of the Fountain Court. Now, the reason I put in 4, I could have put in 7. I like the idea of 7. Possibly even more, but you know, if you really want to go for fluff, there was only 4 ever shown. I'm sure there was some in the background having a rest, you know, these guys do 24/7 every single day. Yeah, not happening. So yeah, but I put in 4 there. Again, they're great because these guys have bodyguard, so no terror tests there. Fantastic. No courage tests either for breaking, although I think your army's going to struggle to be broken when we go down through the rest of it. So with that, I then put in 8 warriors of minus third, again all with shield, because my guard of the Fountain Court have spears, my rangers have spears, so we've got quite a few spears coming on here. The next one, oh sorry, getting back to Beragorn, don't do what I forgot, which is he's got a longbow, strength 3. Sometimes use it if you can get that sneaky old shot off. Okay, so the next one was Denethor. Now the reason I brought in Denethor, he's fight 5, he's strength 4, you know, he's 2 attacks. He's a nice model. Okay, he does have that little problem of he loses his mind every now and then, so you've got to roll on his courage test before priority is rolled. Very, very important there. A lot of people can and have done forget it, me included. But get that off. Now, luckily he has a high courage and he's got 3 will, so the odds of him failing regularly is slim. But when he does, he can go in there and pop the old head off one of your troops, or even tie up a hero that's just called an heroic action. So be careful there. Once he's on the board, I try and separate him from the troops a little bit. But hey, aside from that, we have 5 Osgiliath veterans with spears and shields. We've got 4 Osgiliath veterans with just shields, and then we have 3 warriors of minus third again, so we're getting the old defenses 6 in there, but we're getting the fight 4 behind them. So, and remember, the Osgiliath veterans only go to fight 4 if they have, in this list, Faramir within, is it 6 inches or so? So just make sure that you try and do that. You might want to move Denethor and Faramir around, although Denethor with the knights, interesting. Faramir horse with the Osgiliath veterans, interesting. But you know, these are potentials that you can look at. And then the last warband, I actually went for a captain of minus third. I do apologize, I haven't got this guy painted yet, but I love the model. Managed to get my hands on it. Really, really excited about that. And with him, Obviously I've given him heavy armour, well, it's heavy armour and shield throughout. I've given him 6 Citadel Guard. Now, I gave them longbow and spear again. And the reason is because there are occasions when your enemy will just be a whole line of melee troops coming at you ferociously. And those extra longbows, those extra bows, can get those sneaky shots off, as I said. But the key thing with the Citadel Guard is their spears, for the spear support, and also they have bodyguard. And that's amazing. I don't tend to put Citadel Guards in because of the defense 5. A bit scary, but then at the same time, you know, the ability to hold up the likes of fell beasts, trolls, eagles, anything that causes terror is quite good, because it allows the rest of your army to focus on other things without having a whole pile of failed terror tested guys standing around going, oh, we can't even spear support in this scenario. Okay, and then with that I've put in 5 warriors and minus 30. So you'll notice that in total I've got 8, 16, 18 warriors and minus 30 with shields, defense 6, really good, and then a lot of supporting fight 4 troops behind to help out, which is great. So you're getting that fight 4 in all your combats, you're getting the spears in there to give you an extra dice in your combats, and this is actually a difficult army. Now, this is inadvertently an anti-magic army due to the fact that you've only got Faramir. Now, Faramir is going to bring a few might points to the table, but he's not the Boromir. He's not a massive point sink. And that's important to think about, because if the magic is going to be used, it's only going to be used against Faramir, which allows your 60 odd troops to get in there and do things. And on the odd occasion when you get priority, Faramir can come in and get a few things. Yes, you will lose your leader. The potential is that a couple of focuses, even some black darts or transfixes, and then aim into combat, you will lose. So you're going to lose some leader points there. But at least you're losing... Okay, at least you're losing some leader points. You're tying up the enemy's magic and potentially some of their stronger troops to tie Faramir up. But you do have the overall numbers to just wipe over, get those hero points back, potentially break your enemy. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. So that's what I'd focus on for this Gondor list. Numbers. Fight 4 in reserve, defense 6 in the front, cheap heroes, some mobility, getting the cavalry in, mixed in with the troops, searching out for the opportunity where the objectives are at hand, and you still, with that number advantage, have the ability to send a few warriors, a minus 30 or whoever, over to those objectives to pick up those points. So listen, the Big Goblin 86, I hope you like that list. I look forward to seeing you at Nova. I personally would not like to come up against that list at the GT with my army, because this is a bit of a secret what I'm taking, but all revealed on the day. I know what I'm taking to the other aspects, but I'm taking a fluffy army. But I do think that Gondor army would give me a run for my money, depending upon the scenario, of course. So listen, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've any more lists that you'd like me to try and go through, as I said, I am not... Okay, I know what I'm talking about. There are people out there who may know a lot more about the lists and could come up with better aspects to it, and fair due to them. My face is on the camera at the moment. You want to ask me a few questions on that, that's great. You want to make any changes to this list, you want to put any critique in there, fantastic, because we're all still learning, guys. Any more lists? I mean, Articon lists, I'm quite happy. I'm going to put out my own Articon list there in a couple of weeks' time. I've also got some projects going on where I'm doing some painting. I'm looking at a bit of terrain. I'm not trying to step on people's toes here, but I want to look at a few specific little bits of terrain, and I have a big table project that I'd like to get stuck into, but nerves and lack of experience perhaps, but I'm getting all the materials together. I'm getting all the paints, the air sprays, the you know, the foams, the glues, all that together, and looking at building a big table. So aside from that, guys, look forward to hearing from you. As Owen would say, like, subscribe, comment below, share by all means, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Okay, keep those army lists coming in. Cheers. Bye for now.